The Arizona election and the complete boondoggle that was. We saw a lot of the same dirty games in Kari Lake's election that we saw in previous elections. We saw very clear evidence, both in real time and in court, that the results of the election were changed by illegal activities. In a random sample of ballots, 42% of the ballots were illegal, but they were counted as votes. Multiple witness testimony, circumstantial evidence, just a mountain, a plethora of evidence, and much of that evidence rose to the level of proof that the election had been sufficiently tampered with to alter the result. And yet, the judge threw out the case. You can't prove intent, he says. Where else in U.S. law does intent matter? If I fire my gun randomly into a crowd, I'm drunk, high on drugs, otherwise incapacitated, does my intent save me from getting life in prison? If I get behind the wheel of a car and I recklessly drive and hit another car and kill all the passengers inside, does my intent save me from life in prison? If a military general orders his troops to violate international treaties on conduct, such as the Geneva Convention, does his intent to serve his country save him from court-martial? Where does intent ever show up in U.S. law? Except when we're trying to upset the balance of power. Except when we're trying to make sure that our republic isn't being stolen out from underneath us. You can't prove intent, they say, as we hold up the verifiable evidence that the election was fraudulent. And why, you might ask, do they do this? Why do they do this when we can see right here in Arizona law, it is the object of elections to ascertain a free expression of the will of the voters, and no mere irregularity can be considered unless it be shown that the result has been affected by such irregularity. 42% of the ballots in a random sample were illegal. I'd say that probably affected the result. At a minimum, that merits an audit of the election. But the judge threw it out. And why? Why did the judge throw it out? Well, I can only speculate. I cannot read minds. Certainly not from a distance. But if I had to speculate, I'd say that this judge is terrified. Terrified of doxing. Terrified of protests outside his house. Terrified of threats against his life and the lives of his family. He's afraid that his cities will be burned down for weeks or months on end. He's afraid of the left. He's afraid of domestic terrorists labeling themselves BLM and Antifa. He's afraid of being publicly smeared and maligned in the media. He's afraid of his face becoming national news. He's afraid of being called a Trump supporter. He's a coward. He's a corrupt coward. And we made it easy for the left to corrupt him because we let the left riot. We let the left protest in front of judges' houses, which is illegal, by the way. We let them do it. It's much harder to be mad at your enemy for being evil bastards when you take a step back and remember for a moment that you could have prevented them from being evil bastards. All it would have taken would have been a couple counter protesters in front of Kavanaugh's house. All it would have taken was a few more people like the brave citizens in Kenosha, of which Kyle was a member, in a few more cities. This country was founded by people who stood up against evil. They looked into the face of tyranny and they said, no. And that's all it takes. It really is crazy that that's literally all it takes a lot of the time. Especially if you do it when it's easiest. Because, see, the slippery slope is not a logical fallacy. It's a principle of human behavior. Evil always starts small. Usually when we're children, we push a kid and take their toy. Or we steal something, a cookie from the counter, a sucker from the store. And if we're punished for that evil, if we're stopped from doing more evil right away, we're set on a better path. Well, it's the same thing for citizens in society standing up against societal level evil. If you say no to the bullies in society, the psychotic, narcissistic little children in adult bodies, if you say no to them on the small things, they never try the big things because they know they won't get away with it. And for years, we let the full-grown, psychopathic, narcissist children get away with everything in the name of tolerance, in the name of acceptance, in the name of being open-minded. We let them get away with every damn thing. And now the good people, air quote, because how good can you really claim to be if you let evil and debauchery go unchecked? Now the good people of this country are reaping what they have sown. This is the price of apathy. This is the price of not tending the garden. No one likes weeding. No one likes brushing their teeth or flossing. No one likes washing the dishes. No one likes picking up dog shit from the yard. But these are jobs that have to be done. Or else your food doesn't grow. It's overtaken by weeds. Your teeth rot and fall out. And you can't walk through your yard without getting covered in shit. That's what's happening to America now. Our teeth are falling out and we're covered in shit. And yeah, we can blame the left. We can say it's their fault. They're the one rioting and burning down cities. Why can't they just not be assholes? Well, why didn't anyone stop them? I hope that Carrie Lake wins her appeal in court. That's what needs to happen. In some ways, I hope she takes it all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court itself knocks down the lower court's rulings and overturns that election. But at the same time, I'm not going to hold my breath anymore because I have become black-pilled about the judicial system. The system has become broken and corrupted, I think, beyond repair. And I think the only real remedy for this country at this point is 1776. On the one hand, I hope I'm wrong. I don't like violence. I'm honestly scared of violence. But I'm also unsure how to avoid it at this point. Something's got to give. And the historical precedent is clear. When you have an elite class that has forsaken the people, forsaken the laws of the country, and they are merely self-enriching, extracting all the wealth and value from the society that they possibly can while ignoring the needs of the common people. Lawlessness runs rampant while food shortages increase. It always leads one place. And that place is never good. I hope Carrie Lake wins her appeal. Alright, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. God be with us. Welcome to the adventure.